بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، فإن خير الحديث كتاب الله، وخير الهدي هدي النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد، الحمد لله رب العالمين. We have been speaking about the unseen world, and we have spoken about the angels, spoken about the books, spoken about the prophets, and inshallah we're going to speak about the world of the jinn very soon. But before that, I would like to speak about the angels of Malik al-Maut before we get into the jinn, and then we're going to get into the life of Barzakh, and then the Jannah, Jahannam, Yawm al-Qiyamah. All these, inshallah, if we have time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give us the tawfiq. We're going to speak about it, inshallah. Today, I will not take much of your time. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us. And I just would like to mention one of the hadith where many of us are not aware, and we always think about how this situation is going to occur. What's going on in regards to angel of death, Malik al-Maut, what's going on in regards to the angel of Rahmah or angels of Adhab, angels of mercy or the angels of punishment. What's going to happen? Who's going to remove our soul before we die? Can we see angel of death? We can't see angel of death? Do they come in a shape that, we don't even know how it is because we haven't seen it? Yes or no? We haven't seen angel of death, and have we had the chance to speak to someone who passed away who would have told us? Yes or no? I mean, we haven't. When they're gone, they're gone. So that's why it's the experience of one time. So you can't speak to people who passed away. But therefore, a medical mode comes to you, and then some scholars differ. Do you see or you don't see? But the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned that the eyesight follows the soul when it's been removed. The eyesight follows the soul when it's being removed. So that's why you see many people who pass away, the eyesight are always looking up because our soul is being removed from our tongue and being pulled out. So how is that being pulled out and how does this happen? We're going to speak about this one from the hadith of Al-Bara ibn Azib radiallahu anhu, where it's mentioned in a very long hadith, where I'll try my best to make it as summarized and brief as I can, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Okay, so unmute everyone, inshallah, or mute everyone, so we don't really. All right, let's go through the hadith together. Al-Bara ibn Azib, one of the Sahabi who used to be among the Prophet Muhammad's companion, which had narrated a couple of hadith of what we know from the Kutub al-Sihah. He said, we went out with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam to the funeral of a man from among the Ansar. And who were the Ansar? They were the people of Medina. The Ansar were the people of Medina who welcomed the people of Mecca to Medina, Yathrib. So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he went there, the grave hadn't been dug yet. So he was waiting at the graveyard for them to dig the grave until they would put that person inside the grave. So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam sat down, and the Sahaba sat down around him quietly. That's the respect. Sit around your ustad quietly. It's part of respect. And the Sahaba did that. And he had in his hand a stick with which he was making marks on the ground. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, in a couple of hadith, where it says he used to have a stick in his hand. And we know very well in some of the Prophet's movies that we see a stick in their hand. And apparently a stick is being used even now. The people who walk a lot on the desert, it's good for them to use a stick. When you use a stick, what happens? It's like a third foot. It helps you out. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're hiking and everything, you have a stick. So and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to hold his stick many of the times as per the hadith while he was walking. And while he was making marks on the ground, he raised his head and he said something. Now guess what? He is in the maqbara. He is in the Kabaristan, you call it. Oh, he is in the graveyard, cemetery. And he raised his head. And then he said something very profound. He said, seek refuge in Allah from the punishment of the grave. And he said it twice and thrice. استعيذوا يعني seek refuge from عذاب القبر. Seek refuge from the عذاب القبر. It's true. Some people, some sect, they disbelieve, they don't believe in the عذاب القبر. لا والله, it's there. In the Quran, in the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad as proof. The barzakh, al-haya barzakhiyya, the life in the grave is the life that's true, that's mentioned in the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, seek refuge in Allah from the punishment of the grave. That's why we say, Allahumma inna na'udhu bika min adhab al-qabr wa min su'al munkarin wa nakir min adhab al-qabr. Even in our tashahud after Salah Ibrahimiyya, Darud Sharif, after you say, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa barik ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka hamidun majid. اللهم نعوذ بك من عذاب النار ومن عذاب القبر ومن فتنة المحيا ومن فتنة المسيح الدجال. And the dua that we read before we say taslim, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. But Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is saying, seek refuge from the adhab al-qabr, oh my sahaba. And then he said, when a believer is about to leave this world, when a believer is about to leave this world, angels of faces white as sun. Imagine that. Imagine yourself, you're on your deathbed, and then you see from far angel, their faces are brightly shining as sun, and you can see that. You don't know what's going on. Khalas, now you have already entered into the life of Akhirah. And you see that from very far. And the hadith continue. The angel with faces white as the sun come down to him from heaven with one of the shrouds of paradise and some of the perfume of paradise, and sit away from him as far as the eyes can see. Allah. So now you're about to die. The angel of death, the angel of Rahmah, we call it now. The angel come down with the shroud, you know, the kafan, white. Kafan, smelling as musk, the fragrance of Jannah, the color white, and the shroud is from Jannah. They've got that in their hand. And you see them, the face are brightly shining from far as the eyes can see from the horizon. You can see this, like, see what's happening. We're not speaking about Malik al-Maut now, huh? We speak about the angel of Rahmah. The angel that's going to take your soul and bring up and bring down. Malik al-Maut is just there, just to take your soul away. So the third thing which you see that angel. From far, bright face just as white as the sun, having the shroud from Jannah and the perfume of Jannah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us see that. And they sit away as far as the eye can see. Then the angel of death, Malik al-Maut. Now Malik al-Maut comes and sits at his head and says, now Malik al-Maut comes and sit at your hand. And then he says, oh good soul, يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة صلاة الفجر ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية. Oh good soul, come out to the forgiveness and acceptance from your Lord. Oh soul, oh good soul. He didn't say good body. You see, that's why we always emphasize all about your soul in Islam, not about your body. Ya ayyatuha an-nafs al-mutma'inna, oh soul who has been in this world under the umbrella of the obedience of Allah, come out to the forgiveness and the acceptance of your Lord. Ajib. And subhanallah, and it comes out as the drop flows, subhanallah, from a water skin, you know, a bucket. When you pour all the water, there's the last drop of water in the bucket. How you pour it, it comes down easily. Yes or no? So your soul is being removed just like that. And the hadith carries on. It says, and when he does so, they do not leave it in his hand for an instant, but take it and place it in the shroud and the perfume, and from it there comes forth a fragrance like that of the sweetest musk found on the face of the earth. Which means that when Malik al-Maut, he takes away the soul, he does not keep that soul in his hand straight away, give it to the angel of Rahmah. He gave that soul, yourself, myself, anyone, and he gave it to that angel that's prepared to take you with the perfume from Jannah and the shroud, kafan from Jannah. Malik al-Maut not going to take your soul anyway. He's going to remove it. And how he removes it all depends upon your deeds in this world. Remove it in the best of ways. For the people who used to be obedient to Allah, their salah, their hijab, their modesty, their zakah, their umrah, their hajj, their moral values, when their soul will be removed, it will be as if a last drop of water is being pulled from a bucket. Easy, out. The angel of death take that soul and give it to the angel of Rahmah. Very good. And guess what? What does he do now? They take it up. They take that soul up. They take your soul up in the heaven and do not bring it past a company of angels without their asking, who is this good soul? To which they reply, so and so, the son of so and so, using the best of his names by which people call him on the earth. So that they will get your soul. And then they will hold that soul in the shroud, and then they will go up to the heavens. And each and every time they will pass by a group of angels, the angel will say, who is this good soul? Who is this good soul? And then the angel will say, he is so and so, Fulan ibn Fulan, the son of so and so. And the name that you used to love people to call you in this dunya, that will be the name that we mention in the heaven. He is so and so, the son of so and so. Even your father's name will be mentioned in the heaven when you pass away. Ajib. And when your soul is gone up there, then they bring him to the lowest heaven, and out of the gate should open for it. Once they get to the lowest heaven, And then the higher to the higher to the higher, the angel asks, who is this? Did he get permission? Yeah, he got permission until he reaches to the highest. Until he's brought to the seventh heaven. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, record the book of my servant in Illiyin. كتاب مرقوم يشهده المقربون. And that book of Illiyun is the book in which the name of the people of Jannah is recorded in. Illiyin is the book in which the people who will be under the shade of the throne of Allah Azza wa Jal, their name are recorded in. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, record his name, the name you just mentioned now, into this book. And his name is mentioned and written into that book. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, take him back to earth. For I created mankind from earth. And I shall return them into it. And from it I shall bring them forth another time. So bring back this soul to the earth. And let him stay in the earth. And from there I shall resurrect them from where? From the earth. Because from there I created them. So that soul will be brought back to the body. And by that time, the body has already been put in the grave. Subhanallah. And guess what? His soul is then restored to his body. Two angels come to him and make him sit up and say to him, who is your Lord? He replies, Allahu Rabbi, Allah is my Lord. What is your religion? And he replies, my religion is Al-Islam. And they ask, who is this man who was sent among you? And he replies, he's God's messenger. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And they ask, what is your source of knowledge? And he replied, I have read the Quran, believed in it, and declared it to be true. Then one cried from the heaven, my servant has spoken the truth. So spread out carpets from paradise for him, clothe him from paradise, and open a gate for him into paradise. Then some of his joy and fragrance come to him. His grave is made spacious for him as far as the eyes can see. And a man with beautiful face, beautiful garments, and sweet perfume comes to him and say, rejoice in what pleases you, for this is your day which you have been promised. He asked, who are you? Your face is beautiful, and your face brings good news. He replies, I am your deeds. I am your good deeds. And then he says, my Lord, bring the last hour. Aqim as-sa'a. My Lord, bring the last hour, so that I may return to my people and my property. Subhanallah. This is what the good soul actually says. When they're actually being able to reply the three questions, they're able to see their place in Jannah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send down this person. Stay with you until Yawm al-Qiyamah. You know, when people come to you, they come with good news, you see in their face. Sometimes when people come towards you, you know it's coming with bad news. For that, something Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created especially for you. And who is that? Your good deeds. In order to keep you company until Yawm al-Qiyamah. Who are these? They are those people who used to do good deeds. But you can see that the first portion of the hadith, where it is said in this regard of good people. Good people. So definitely, the wicked people are the contrary. So let's see how the bad people's soul are being removed. Same thing. When a bad person is about to leave the world, angel with black faces comes down to him from heaven with hair cloth and sit away from him as far as his eyes can see. So now he's about to die. And he sees angels with black faces. Good people, they say angel with which face? White faces, as brightly as the sun. And the bad people, khalas, their fear start right now. The fear and the punishment of the akhirah start right now when they see from far a creature with black face sitting just right there, looking at them. How did that feel? How did that sound? And at his head, there is Malik al-Maut, about to remove his soul. About to remove his soul. Subhanallah, look what happened. The angel of death sit at his head and say, wicked soul, O soul who has been wicked, spoiled, corrupted, come out to the displeasure of your Lord. Then it becomes dissipated in his body and he draws it out as the spit is drawn from the moistened wool. Then he seizes it, and when he does, they do not leave in his hand for an instant and put the hair cloth from where come forth a stench like the most offensive stench of course found from the face of the earth. When the angel of death says, "Oh soul that has been wicked, come out." It comes out, even in the end of the hadith, it's mentioned that when you put a branch of thorn into a bucket filled up of cotton wool, and when you're removing that branch of thorn from the bucket of cotton wool, what's happening to the wool when you're removing that branch of thorn? It's tearing apart, yes or no? It's tearing apart the cotton wool. It's hard. And that's the way the people who has been evildoers. I'm not speaking about kuffar. Kuffar is something else. I'm speaking about Muslim who has not honored themselves to be from the ummah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Evildoers, disobedient, munafiqun. May Allah save us from these. So because in another hadith says that fajir, evildoers from the Muslim. So they see the angel in black face. Malik al-Maut remove their soul in the way I'm talking about. And when the soul comes out, it does not have the same good smell as the good people. Straight away Malik al-Maut give it to the angel who have the black faces. Okay? Then they take it up and do not bring it past an angel, which they say, who is this wicked soul? They say, he's so and so, the son of so and so. And using the worst names he was called in the world. So when he will be brought up to the heaven, it will be smelly. Other angel will be like, oh, who is this? The angel will say, he is so and so, the son of so and so. And they would call him the worst name that he used to be called in this dunya. And guess what? When he's brought to the lowest heaven to go up, he will request for the door to open. And the door will not be open for him. The door will not be open for him. Subhanallah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, write his name in the book of Sijjeen. The book of Sijjeen, or the book in which the name of those people who enter Jahannam, their name has written into that book. Write his name in the book of Sijjeen, the record of Sijjeen. Subhanallah. in the lowest earth, and his soul is thrown down, not brought down, are the angels of the good soul. And the hadith mentioned over here, and his soul is thrown down. Subhanallah. And then his soul is restored to his body. Two angels come down to him, make him sit and ask him, who is your Lord? And then he will say, I don't know. What's the religion? I don't know. Who was the man who was sent among you? I do not know. Then one cries from heaven will say, he has lied. Spread out carpet from hell for him and open a gate of hell. Then some of the heat and hot air will come to him while he's in the grave. His grave will be made narrow so that his ribs will be pressed to each other. Subhanallah. And a man with an ugly face, ugly garments, offensive odor will come to him and say, be grieved and be sad for what your Lord, for what you have done and displeased your Lord. For this is your day you have been promised. He will say, who are you? Your face is the most ugly person I've ever seen, and you don't bring good news. He will say, I am your bad deeds. I am your evil deeds that you were doing. And then the person will say, oh Allah, do not bring the hour. Do not bring the hour. Which means don't let Yawm al-Qiyamah come. Don't let Yawm al-Qiyamah come. But subhanallah, it tells you over here that this is the true scenario, the true narration and the true thing what happened. Though it is something that we can't see, we got to believe in it. It's part of Iman, that we believe in the way we are going to leave this dunya. How do we leave this dunya? We see the angel of Rahmah first, or the angel of Adab first, from afar. Who are these? Who is this? Big, massive, never seen that before. Wow, it's beautiful. You might be in coma, you see it. You might be about to die. You can never know how this happened. Maybe some people suddenly, they just have a heart attack, they die. We don't know. Have they seen it or no? Wallahu a'lam. Some people go in the car and a car accident, bow. Have they seen it? Yes, they've seen it. You can never know how these things work until you experience it. We don't know. We are meant to only believe in it. Angel of death is going to come and be next to us, next to our head. The angel of Rahmah will be far, or the angel of Adab will be far out there. We can see. We're going to see that first, and Malak al-Maut are going to remove the soul and then give it to the angels over there. He has one job to do: remove your soul. To bring it up and down is the angel of Rahmah or the angel of punishment. This is what really happened to all the people who passed away down there. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy upon us. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why we should always ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for husn al-khatimah. Allahumma rzuqna husn al-khatimah. Oh Allah, make our ending good. Oh Allah, make us see the angel of Rahmah before we die. Oh Allah, allow the medical maut to remove our ruh easy and smoothly, Ya Allah. Make the grave rawda min riyad al-jannah for us, Ya Allah. Make the grave a garden from the garden of paradise for us, Ya Allah. This is the dua that we need to make. Not only about the dunya and the dunya. Yes, we need success in this world. We need success here, but the true success is where? Is in the qabr at the beginning. If you find this in the qabr, khalas. Yawm al-Qiyamah gonna be like a twinkling of an eye. Your hisab is going to be successful. Your passing of the sirat is going to be successful. You will be drinking from the hawd of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that day of Yawm al-Qiyamah is going to be the day that you're waiting for. because you already feel it in your qabr. You already felt it by the time your soul about to be removed. But therefore, we should always ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, husn al-khatimah. Husn, oh Allah, give it the best of ending. And guess what? And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, someone will die as per how they used to live in this world. Your ending is going to be as how you used to live in this dunya. If you're someone who used to live in the ta'atillah, if you're someone who used to live in the obedience of Allah, you will die upon the obedience of Allah. If you're someone who used to be wicked in the disobedience of Allah, and you don't make tawbah, you're going to die in the disobedience of Allah. How many people die while they're intoxicated? How many people die while they are taking drugs? How many people die while they are in the nightclub? How many people die when they're actually doing fawahish out there? How many? You will die as per what you used to live upon. How many people, mashallah, die in Hajj, in Umrah, in Sujood, in Jihad, in all these kind of places where you know Jannah is for them, you see them, and when you look back at their life, subhanallah, this is their life. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, always ask Allah the Almighty to give us the best of ending. This is the best thing we should always ask. Allahumma rzuqna husn al-khatimah. Allahumma rzuqna husn al-khatimah. Always, always, we should ask this dua bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Let's check the first question. Working in non-Muslim countries is difficult. How to overcome issues of shirk, New Year and Christmas celebrating in school where I am working, and how to gain sound intellectual forgiveness, which dua to read to be part of Allah always. Well, my sisters, oh my brother, we need to understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. Fear Allah as much as you can. Fear Allah wherever you are. حيثما كنتم. Wherever you are, fear Allah. And fear Allah as much as you can, oh my brothers and my sisters. Sometimes you are in a place where you're not able to do many things. Let's say, for example, you are in a school working in the West. Are they forcing you? Well, you are in a Christian country. Definitely they're going to celebrate Christmas. You are in a Christian country. Don't expect them to celebrate Diwali or Holi or Eid al-Adha, Eid al-Fitr. And this is there. And they will do that the same way we people in Saudi or Khalij, Emirat, Qatar, Bahrain, all these, they celebrate in the school Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. Yes or no? If you are, let's say in India, maybe they celebrate, I do not know, Diwali or Holi or any kind of. So you as a Muslim working there, you may need to compromise many things. But for you to get yourself involved into the celebration, you always have to say that, well, I do not celebrate that because it is not a cultural celebration, it is a religious celebration. And everyone has a right to refuse to celebrate other religion celebration. So as much as you can, you have to make sure that you do not get involved into it. And now guess what? If ever, we won't say, as per the question, have you fallen into shirk? If you're students or if you're part of them celebrating Christmas, but you are not, you're against it, but you're forced to be there, it is not shirk. It is not shirk, wallahu ta'ala a'lam. If ever, as per the context you're mentioning, you cannot do anything. You're a Muslim sister or brother working in the West where your students are celebrating Christmas or New Year, and then you're forced to be there as a teacher, and you hate and you detest this kind of act and action in festival and celebration, and you have to be there by force. In this case, it is not shirk. It is not shirk. The dua which we need to make after grave, where can I find it? My sister, if you are in the group, ask me in the group. I will send it to you, inshallah. We'll open all the group today, inshallah. Apology because my phone is broken. That's why I have closed all the sisters groups and the brothers not much because they don't ask much questions. But the sisters, I had to close them because I'm not able to write. I'm not able to put a dot. My A is not working, so my phone is busted. So I need to buy another phone, and I'm going to answer all your questions. So my sister, the dua which we need to make for the grave after tashahhud, Sister Aisha, if you can, I'm going to put my number here again. Send me, and I will send it to you, inshallah, on the group about the dua. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min adhab an-nar wa adhab al-qabr wa fitnat al-mamat wal mahya wa min fitnat al-masih ad-dajjal. Okay, okay. Can the dead hear us? Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. All right, we know the dead, they hear us when we're leaving the graveyard. As the Prophet Muhammad mentioned, the dead, they hear us when we are leaving the graveyard at the last footstep in our na'al, when our sandals are walking, they can hear us. That's the time the angel come and put them sometimes and sitting them down at that moment. Yes, it is the same dua that we make after durood. Very good. Yes, Sister Zainab. So one see the angel of rahmah or punishment first, and then the angel, yes. As per the hadith, first they see the angel of death, and at the same time, by that moment, first of all, they see the angel of rahmah or adab. By the time they see this, angel of death is already at their head. All right, this as per the hadith we just mentioned today. The information I didn't get from my pocket because I never experienced that. It was something from the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Any question? Brothers, you're going to die too. We're all going to die. Yusuf, ready? Inshallah, inshallah. May Allah make it easy, inshallah. Shukran, wa barakallahu feekum. Alhamdulillah, I made it, so I thought we were going to have the charge. So, yes.
Prayers that are offered for dead.
Yeah.
There are incidents where, because people pass out here and they are buried.
Yeah.
And prayer in homeland. So, how is this?
What do you mean prayers?
Sense like another prayers.
Yeah. Oh, okay. His question is if some. Okay, okay. Idami Sefsikhar asking question. You know Fadil Ahmed? He's laughing. Allah, Allah, Allah. Yeah, Mr. Yes, Iftikhar asking question. He always has question to ask. He doesn't leave me alone, صراحة. Anyway. Naam. In regards to Salat al-Ghaib, صح? In regards to his question is, yes, it's called Salat al-Ghaib. Salat al-Janaza is the salat that you make, you pray upon people who pass away.